The hunt is on. There's no going back now. It's in your blood. A primal need that must be met. It drives you. It consumes you. It takes you to the edge. What was once a simple pastime has now become your addiction. This season, come share the excitement with a group of fellow whitetail addicts from Lone Wolf. Learn from their time-tested techniques, as well as their mistakes, and be there to experience firsthand the highs and the lows we've all come to thrive on. They are do-it-yourselfers just like you. Their season begins the moment the last one ends. And when it comes time to release an arrow, they come up big. This is Whitetail Addictions.
Wow, what a cage.
Hi, I'm Justin Hollandsworth, and I'm from Ohio. I work as a project manager for a commercial construction company, acoustic ceilings and partitions, and we specialize in metal studs, drywall, acoustic ceilings. I have a family, my wife Lori and son Mason, and when I'm not doing those two things, you can about guarantee that I'm trying to feed my whitetail addiction. I started hunting at an early age. My grandfather, Walt, was the one that got me into this, and when I was 7 or 8, he was dragging me along through the woods and showing me the ways. I got really heavy into coon hunting at one point in my teenage years. It wasn't until about my mid-20s that something just changed in me, and I just wanted to shoot my first Pope and young whitetail with my bow. And I set out a goal, and I went out there and done it. And putting it on that first one was just unbelievable to me. A few years later, I become good friends with, and I met Andre DeQuisto and become good friends with him. And he started sharing a lot of tactics with me, a lot of ways that he'd been using for years. And he also was turning me on to, his inventions, from the tree stands to the sticks to you name it. And between the tactics and the tools, just my success went through the roof after that. I was consistently shooting a good Pope and young deer every year with my bow, and then I started doing some traveling out of state. And I was hunting states like Iowa and Kansas and Illinois and Wisconsin, and I had several years where I was shooting multiple bucks a year, and it just, the addiction only grew stronger from there. These days, I'm starting to do a lot more hunting with my son. My son Mason, who's 11, he's starting to show some interest in the sport. And so this past year I had him out and we did some hunting together, and we came really, really close. And I saw that twinkle in his eye on a couple different occasions this past year. But I'm really looking forward to this year, and I'm really looking forward to feeding that addiction. So the 2019 season rolled around, and the hunt for Vader began. This was a deer that I had a lot of history with, actually 3 years of history. And going into the season, I had 2 for sure shooters, and I had 1 other that I was on the fence about, and 3 or 4 others that I was just waiting to show up.
this ever happen to you? You get back to your trail camera spot, hoping to pull a card and get some good intel, only to realize you never took the camera out of setup mode? Well, with the new undercover game camera from Lone Wolf, it auto arms, so that'll never happen again. It's October 13th today, and I came in here. I got a small little food plot, and I have a deer that I call Vader. He's been in here for 3 years. I passed him up when he was 3.5, right here, 10 yards. And then last year, I hunted him twice. And the first time I came in and hunted him, I was set up over there because of the way the wind was going that night. And he came out over here, and there was a doe and 2 fawns that came in behind me. And the doe knew something was up, and he didn't like the situation, so he left. Dead south is my favorite because they like it, because they got that wind to their advantage. You know, it's that goes back to Roger Rothar years ago, writing in Whitetail Magic about hunting that edge when it's good for you, but good for them. I call it flirting with disaster is what it is.
If you look at early season, Justin Hollandsworth has found success multiple times on some really good bucks.
Well, today is October 12th, and I was very fortunate enough to shoot this deer that I have a lot of history with. In 3 years, I guess something to learn is, and be said that if keeping detailed trail cam records showed that this deer always showed up between October 5th to the 12th. So 3 years ago, he showed up on October 12th. Last year he showed up on October 10th, and this year he showed up on October 5th. And today is October 12th, and I was able to use that information to my advantage, and it played out just perfectly. I mean, we have just we're in a killer moon phase right now. We got a big cold front that just rolled in. It's the first cold front in October that we've had, and we had a front coming in tonight, which brought the rain, which made it a little tough for us tonight. And we were able to recover this buck. But man, he's a tank.
Okay, it's the evening of October 14th. I went on a little recon mission today. I was starting to see the sign get a little hotter. I jumped 2 bucks. I couldn't get them on video, but you can hear their antlers banging off the trees as they ran down this draw. I think I'm going to leave my stuff in here for a morning post. And the game plan is maybe we push them down. They're going to head back up this draw this evening. I pulled a bunch of game camera cards from Lone Wolf Undercover. Into my prize, we got 3 shooters on there, so all just like a light switch turned off, starting to work scrapes all over the property. So this next week is prime. This is actually the next week up to November, starting November, is phenomenal for big bucks over scrapes. So let's sit back and see what happens here.
Now it's getting the time of year and the crops are really starting to come down and the deer are starting to pour back into the timber. About that same time, I start getting pictures of Vader on a pretty consistent routine. But it's mid-October and he is only walking in daylight in the mornings. And I fell victim to this, and I think a lot of people have, is not hunting mornings in early and mid-October. But my camera's telling me something otherwise. My camera's telling me that deer is moving in daylight, and mid-October, I gotta take a chance and I gotta go in and try to get after him.
They say you can't get a big buck in the morning in October, mid-October, during the October lull. Boom, right there. Oh, 3 years of pictures of that deer. Passed him up right there as a 3-year-old. My shot was high. I ended up spining him. Actually, that's the first deer I think I've ever spined in my life. Now, send over a text to my buddy Andre and my buddy Cody and let them know the good news. Got a big boy down. So, make a quick phone call to my wife and tell her the great news.
I knew he was massive. I didn't know he was that kind of massive. I mean, he's just a brute. I mean, that's all there is to it. And I'm just tickled to death with him. And he's actually, I don't know, I think he's a little bigger than I thought he was, to be honest with you. The 2019 season was a lot of fun. I filled one of 2 of my buck tags last season, so it ended a little bittersweet for me. Not filling that second tag only makes my whitetail addiction grow stronger. With an Ohio, Iowa, and Illinois archery tag in my pocket for 2020 and picking up some pretty good sheds along the way, I'll be doing everything I can to feed my whitetail addiction come 2020.
Hi, this is Andre Quisto from Lone Wolf Custom Gear. I wanted to thank you for watching Whitetail Addictions and ask that you become one of our silent partners by hitting the YouTube subscribe button and following us on Facebook and Instagram.